Okay, I'm in now. I can't get you on. Sorry guys, I'm just waiting for my partner to come online. And then I want to see if I can. Hello to who's watching. Then I want to see if I can bring myself on this live. So, still updating. Okay, so Nims, you're still not in. Hi Jade. Our topic today. Here we go. Gotcha. Oh. I just want to see if I can quickly Nims. I want to make my live public. Hi babe.
Hello, you tell me to start live. I'm starting a live waiting for you.
Oh,
Meantime, you waiting for me on the other side. Good Lord have mercy.
sorry man. So I'm trying to actually make the post public because the post is not public. But okay, it's fine. They can always jump in afterwards. And then I want to see if I, the thing is that I wanted to see if I couldn't, like, let my public page come in as well. But okay, anyways, it's fine. I'm not gonna still stress about that. I'll sort it out later. How are you, my friend?
I'm alright. How are you, man?
Tired, tired, tired. I made myself a little office space.
This
In
is good news. I like that. I like how that sounds. I like how
it's a
that
bit
sounds.
messy now, but I'll take a picture later. So,
Yes, please. I would love to see.
yes.
Looks like it's just me and you tonight.
No, I've got 4 people on from my
Okay, cool.
side. It should show on your
I
side if,
got two.
yeah. So we are talking about sex work. That's our topic for the
Yes,
next 2 weeks,
I,
guys.
I think we need to elaborate for some of our viewers what the establishment is,
Yeah,
because I don't think a lot of people know
anybody.
what that is. What that is.
No, so I actually found a perfect site for that, right?
Yes.
Let's see what today. Okay, so an establishment is just a nice way of calling a brothel something nice, giving a brothel a nice name.
Mm.
Like like instead
Yes.
of saying you're going to the to the chawl, you're going to this fancy place or whatever.
Going to the
So
establishment. It sounds so bougie.
it is bougie, and you know what? Because I know a lot of friends that is in that industry and did all of those, like the world, that world
Yes.
kind of like. I heard one was a guy that I was dating at the time actually. He was the one that said the establishment. So he got that into
Okay.
my brain as the establishment. That's what it is. But it's but an
Yes.
establishment, we just break it. An establishment is actually a place where you work, where as a sex worker, it's
Yes.
like your office, basically. But
Yes.
we're
Yes.
broadening it and also talking about sex work in terms of on the street or wherever it is that you are doing.
Mm.
I've got
Yes.
this this
So
this
what are we talking about tonight? Because it's a two-part series this month
tonight.
about sex work.
Tonight we're gonna debunk myths, and I've got a couple of
Okay.
myths here that I found that people talk about. Okay, so here's the definition of what is sex work. We first want to go into that,
Yes.
right? So,
Yeah.
I'm busy reading it now. Sex work can be broadly defined as using sexual behavior as capital. A client pays for a service and a sex worker performs it. Sex work can be any intimate or erotic labor performed in exchange for money, shelter, or substance. So this includes
Can I
escorts.
just expand on that?
Yes,
Can I just expand on that definition?
yeah.
That can also include people who have sex with their bosses to advance in their
Oh, yes.
jobs
And you get
as
a
well.
lot of that. You get a lot of that.
You get a lot of that. Yes, you do. You do.
So, yeah, so they say it includes escorts, street workers, brothel workers. So, escort is somebody that works from a website, from an online website, and they actually more like
High end.
yeah, like the high end people, like you get the girlfriend experience, sort of like that. You can say
Yes.
that.
Yes,
And
you do.
then
You do.
exotic dances. Fuck, I've been to Maverick, so it's horrible. BDSM practice.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Too many foreigners.
Well, to each their own, I guess.
Yeah, I love me some South African, like women. South African women are hot,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, especially when they got some junk in the trunk.
What I actually don't know what this word means. People who do camming. What is that?
Say that again. Camming.
Camming. I'm actually camming is not like any other kind of sex work. Okay. So I found a new thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
First time I
camming.
hear that word.
Oh, okay. It's just a way of my God. It's almost like these fucking terms like what's it? Ghosting and shit like that. All of it. It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
Camming is changing sex on the internet. That's it. So it's internet sex.
Oh, OnlyFans.
Yeah, OnlyFans. Yeah, but OnlyFans can do everything, eh? OnlyFans you can do everything with. So,
Yes, I know,
but
but you can just do the dancing or whatever it is for money.
yeah,
Same thing.
yeah, pole dancing too. So
Yeah. What did you say? BDSM practitioners as well?
yes, and more. So there's obviously a lot, like we were saying, those that with the bosses and stuff. But you know what? Yeah, people put it as a thing as saying, but a guy takes you out and he pays for everything, and it becomes a thing of he's obviously only doing so that he can get into your pants. You know, that's also been something that people's been saying is basically sex work also. I
But
don't.
why is there that expectation if a man takes you out?
That's the thing. Why the fuck is the exam? It's not supposed to be. But
No, it's not supposed to be. If a
yeah,
man wants to take you out, he wants to take you out for the pleasure of your company, not so that he can be between your legs.
okay, but we also don't know what the man's intentions are. But I'm saying as a
No, we don't. But
yeah,
we
I'm
always
saying
like to believe that he has good intentions.
yeah. So like I'm saying as a generalized thing, that is what people have been saying is that
Yes.
so that's also like part of not a myth, but yeah, you can say as a myth, and you can't really debunk that myth because it's gonna be at that topic alone is there's two
It's
sides.
broad in its
Yeah, this is a lot of sides to the
very
coin.
broad.
So
Yeah.
so I don't know if these myths that I found can be quite related to South Africa, but we'll work on that. And also, human trafficking is very different to sex work, right? It's just put it on
Yes,
that
it
as
is.
well. When you're a sex worker, escort or whatever, you're doing it with your own, you're doing it with consent. You have
Yes.
consented.
It's your own free will. Yes.
Yeah, it's out of your own free will. Yeah, you don't get contracts, you don't sign that kind of shit in brothels or wherever you work, but it's still it's consensual.
BDSM practitioners use contracts,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, they use the contracts
They
to
have
say,
to because of the nature of their work, they have to use contracts because it's more of a psychological thing than a sexual thing, but it does lead to sexual gratification. So that is why BDSM practitioners fall into that category as well
yeah, and
of sex workers.
Christian Grey. Hey, 50 Shades
Look
of
here,
Grey.
don't even get me started on 50 Shades of Grey because that was very badly represented.
The movie,
The
yes.
BDSM community, the BDSM community was very up in arms about that because
Is
it was
it?
very poorly represented. Yes.
I think it was,
So
yeah.
that's a topic of discussion for another live.
Okay, let's start on the first myth. Let's start on the first myth.
Yes.
Okay, so myth number one, sex work is not real work.
I beg to differ.
We all beg to differ. We all beg to differ. Let me just read the first paragraph. Right?
Yes.
Sex work is, um, sorry, guys, hold on. You blind. Sex work is 100,000% real work. The dictionary defines work as performing work or fulfilling duties regularly for wages or salary. Remember the definition
Yes.
of sex work above? Sounds like a heck of a lot of work because it is. The bigger question you should be asking if you subscribe to the statement is what makes work real or not.
Yes.
That's a good there's a lot of moralistic judgment here and stuff like that, but it is a job at the end of the day. It's a
It
job.
is.
A job.
It is.
You're
And it's a
consenting.
job that has been around since the dawn of time.
Jebus, how do you think women
Really.
came about? How do you think
Thank you.
how it's
Thank you. So
I mean it goes back in biblical times even, so
that's what I'm saying. It's been around since the dawn of time.
yeah.
So how is it any different than a person that goes to an office every day, sits at their desk for 8 hours, and collects a salary at the end of the month?
I would love to know. I would love to know because I mean I've been in a few
And I
places.
suppose that's also why there are the people that are advocating for sex work to become a legalized profession.
Yeah, that's also another. There's another myth that I found on a site, and the
Yes.
whole thing was saying that if we decriminalize sex work, then you're gonna make it more I don't know, like not legal. It's gonna be less, which is dumb. Basically, it's not gonna change. The thing is, that people need to understand that you made consent, like with your client. You set out the rules, what the do's and don'ts are. Your client spoke to you about what they like, what they don't like. You have every right to say no, whether he paid
Yes.
or not, and you can pass on to someone else.
That's
So
correct.
yeah,
Yes.
so let's just make that is how it works basically. That is the
Yes.
run of the mill. So the client comes in, the client either asks for a private viewing or the client will go into the bar area and he'll choose his girl and they'll first talk and decide if it's a yes or no and then they go from there.
Yes.
And there's your
Yes.
consent.
Yes.
So yeah, so it is work because remember that one iconic um series in SUV or something like that, Law and Order.
SVU.
Yeah, Law and Order. So the one girl
Yeah.
said that so she got raped, right?
Yes.
And she told the detective that
Mm.
but I think she was a stripper or something. It's a very iconic scene. And
Yes.
in there the guy said that it doesn't matter what you do, rape is rape.
Yes.
It's as simple as that.
Amen.
Doesn't matter what work
Amen.
you do,
And
rape is rape.
exactly. And the definition of rape, very loosely translated or very loosely interpreted, is a violation of your person in
Without
any
consent.
sexual context without your consent.
Yeah. And that is why when people say that sex workers can't be raped, I will fucking moor you myself if you ever say something like that. Because yes,
No,
they can.
I'm
If
sorry
they'd say
because
no, I mean, if
No is no.
no is no. Look, like me and my husband, me and Marcy had a conversation, and I said, like, if we're busy and halfway through I say no, what are you gonna do? He says you'll stop because it's a no.
After
So
that point, it becomes rape.
exactly. So
True story.
how
I had a similar experience as well when I was married.
yeah, so how is it that that is any different to a sex worker? It is not different.
Yes.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah, you see, because the clients tend to view the sex worker as lesser than,
It's like, oh,
and
especially if you go
because
in,
she's using her vagina
it,
to earn a living.
it's,
So
but especially if you're in a brothel, if you're an escort, is different.
yes,
If, as an escort, it's like it's deemed more acceptable because
yeah,
it's
like you said, it's the girlfriend experience with an
yeah, it's a
escort.
professional thing. But the thing is, it's as simple as that. There's no difference in the sex work and the fact that you get paid to have sex. Oh my God! Like imagine, so a freak that oh gosh, she's on my bed. I think I'm gonna tell my husband to start paying me for sex. Put it in a bank account. Every session is going to the bank account. These are savings. You will not be happy if I say that. But I'm saying, you know what? Like, look at it this way. People always say that but every female is a sex worker because you're getting stuff in exchange for sex. You're not getting shit in exchange for sex. If you're with somebody, you
It's
fucking
actually the
with.
other way around. The sex is the more the reward for you
Yes,
to get what you want.
exactly. And
It's like the carrot and stick method.
yeah, and we as women shouldn't have to apologize for the fact that we fucking have a higher sex drive than men do.
Yes.
Do you want to go on to the next myth? Or
Yes, let's go on to the next one.
um, this is quite long, but okay. All sex workers were trafficked.
No,
No,
not at all.
no. Wait, there's a lot of statistics out there that reinforce the tendency to conflate sex with trafficking. No, trafficking is terrible. To avoid complex conversations about sex work based on the false assumption that all sex workers trafficking is wrong. It ignores the agency of sex workers to freely choose their trade. Again, this invokes the notion of work with dignity. It's another thing though, eh? But no, sex trafficking is like we said, against your will. I mean, that is why it's called trafficking. It's you got stolen, you got hijacked, you got whatever, you got kidnapped and you got thrown into an
Drugged.
industry.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
no, it's
And in some instances, in some trafficking instances, the females that are marked for trafficking aren't necessarily sex workers.
yeah, that
They are regular, run-of-the-mill females that meet a certain criteria that a client of the trafficking ring is looking for, and they will nab her and sell her
exactly.
off to the highest bidder.
I actually have a very, very good story that can change, that I hope can change people's mindset on the difference between trafficking and sex work. I'm not certain who told me the story, and I'm also unsure of whether I read it. I can't remember, but this is the story. So,
Mm,
someone from Cape Town was struggling to find work and whatever, and she had a friend up in Joburg. And then the friend up in
yes.
Joburg invited her, and I think for I think that they drugged her or something because she was out of it for about 2 weeks. And
What?
she was alone in this room, but it's a grown ass woman, eh? She was alone in this room, or she was younger at the time, but she was alone in this room. I'm sure it was on TV or it was in a book or something, but anyways, she was alone and her friend had just left her. So it turned out that this friend was actually smuggling her own friend. Yeah, that was the shocker. Her own friend was smuggling her because Owen's,
What?
Owen friend was in the sex work trade, but in the actual trafficking trade, and not
Okay.
in Joburg, in Johannesburg. And she was almost kidnapped into, but they would have
Oh,
shipped her not in South Africa, they would have shipped her overseas somewhere. And I mean, your own friend, that is trafficking. Doesn't matter who the person is, it's still trafficking.
but you see, that's the thing, man. They groom these girls, especially the girls that are not in the sex trade. They groom them
But I'm
through
young,
means of a female
friend.
how can I say, accomplice, so that the female actually befriends them with the entire
Tension,
intention
obvious.
of trafficking her eventually down the road, no matter how short or long they have to wait.
No, they do
And that
that
is that
because
is
the thing
scary on
is,
another level.
I know in some instances they make the work seem like all this fancy. I mean, we've watched a lot of movies, but a lot of the movies that's not based on true story is too, it's made too pretty.
Yes.
It's not,
And it's quite ugly.
it is quite ugly. It is not pretty. Okay, so I said I've been to Mavericks. They don't have any underground working as far as I know. Um, and a few other places as well. And it's not on like you see on the TV. It's nothing like that at
But
all.
yes, but here's how quickly it can happen. Yeah? You can get a Instagram DM
Yeah.
from somebody posing as an employee of a big retail chain,
Yeah.
saying that they are looking for models,
Mm-hmm.
for example. And you get tricked into sending pictures,
Yep.
and
Then it gets to the
then
point
they
where they
start
ask for
blackmailing you.
naked pictures. It first starts with normal pictures and then
If you're not, yeah, if you're not wise enough, if you're not wise enough, and it goes past the point of them threatening to expose you, you then go to a unknown location.
yep.
There's people waiting for you, and you're never to be heard from again.
Which is true, which actually fucking happens. I mean, there's how many if
Hello, it
we
happened to me.
I
It happened to
know.
me.
And you know what? I was actually going through my memory, my Facebook memories, and I had the same experience, and I forgot to tell you about it because I completely had forgotten about it. But and the thing is that it's so real that people think, oh, why would they fall for that? For fuck's sake, you know how easy it is to
It is.
manipulate
It's
anything
so
that's
easy.
digital.
It is so easy. I mean, I am a grown woman, a mature woman who's wise to the ways of the world, to most of the ways of the world. And I got caught only
Or
like
are you
right
acting?
near the end because I don't know, I think it must be the signal. And I almost got caught. And how they caught me was
Wait,
they
babe, just
posed as a
hold, because you're acting
photographer.
on my side.
Okay,
No, I'm actually gonna just switch off the Wi-Fi on my other devices. It's fine. Every,
okay.
everybody
So
else would have heard you.
how I eventually got caught was they pretended to be a photographer that I had worked with, um, who had lost all her images of my shoot that she'd done with me
Mm.
once. And I verified that it was her and whatever. So now this scallum eventually pretended to be the photographer, and I sent the photos, and only afterwards did I realize, shit,
It's not.
that wasn't the photographer.
Can I just leave before you continue? Let me just leave the viewers with a little bit of a tip. So
Yes,
we are women. We take naked pictures. Sometimes we do it for our
yes,
partners. Sometimes we do it for ourselves. If you
yes.
have any on your phone and you accidentally or you sent it to somebody that you like in any way, please tag the person's name on the picture on your body. So you see, the thing is, the closer you put it to your face, the better. Or anywhere on your body, on the picture, tag the person's name. So that person's name is on there. They can discover who that person, even if that person is using a fake profile, right?
Yes.
And they use a specific name. Digitally, the IP address can pick up who that person is. So there is no way that it cannot work, that they cannot do it. So tag, ladies, tag the person's name. If it's your husband, your boyfriend, whatever, tag the name, because you don't know what's going to happen in 5 years' time. And then Vijay is out, it's gesteel, and then it's posted somewhere else. So,
Yep.
and that happened to me.
And here's another thing. Do you know that there's websites out there, Ronel, that men post nudes? So now, say for example, you connect with a guy on a dating site, and you get to the point where you take the conversation offline from the dating site
To
to another medium,
mm,
to WhatsApp or whatever it might be, right? Now you start exchanging nudes because that's most how it goes.
yeah, because you're just
And
getting
then I
comfortable
discovered,
now.
yes, and then I discovered there's a whole site, and this is not even on the dark web yet, right? This is like normal, regular internet, where these men expose these women that have sent nudes to them.
Do you have the name
They
of
do
the?
it now, and I know that was quite a few years ago that I discovered the site, and I was shocked to my core. Now, what they do is they've got Telegram groups that operate like that.
Yes, I saw that, the Telegram groups. I've noticed that. I
It's
and a lot.
it's sickening.
Yeah, because somebody actually told me that I'm on there. Someone
Yeah, well,
told.
I'm not on Telegram
No,
anymore,
I've
so I
never ever been on Telegram, but my pictures was circulated in two
must
Telegram groups. So I don't know. I don't know what to do
must.
about it. I don't know how to go about that.
Hi, Romano. Thank you for tuning in.
Oh yes, shot for the hands. Uh, so yeah, let's go to. Are we done with? Are we?
Next
Oh,
one.
let's go to.
Yes, next one.
I'm actually writing because I wanna find the site where men expose naked pictures. Okay, so we covered that sex workers with traffic. No, they weren't. Um, next one. God, I don't know. You know what? How does people's brains work? Sex work is
Only
inherent.
they know.
Yeah, sex work is natural. Sex work is harmful.
It's what?
It's harmful. That
To
that
who exactly?
let's dissect the ways. So I'm not sure. So we're gonna read now. Let's dissect the ways that sex work can be perceived as harmful and shed some light on why this is not the case. One way that sex work can be perceived as inherently harmful pertains to the belief that it is degrading to sex workers. You know what else is degrading? Starving to death. Oh, I love this person that wrote this article. Dignity in work is incredibly subjective, as is referenced above. Most people do jobs they're not passionate about because they simply need jobs. This is going to
Yes.
lead to our next topic next week, right? We spoke about this the
Yes.
other day. Often, the belief that sex work is degrading is closely linked to conflicting beliefs about I don't know what that is. Have you
Spell
heard
it.
commoditization?
Commoditization.
Yes, of sex in general. Have you heard sex sells? Yeah, we see that all the time. So now that's what gets to me, right? So now they're saying sex work is harmful. The
Okay.
how? Okay, they give
Thank
examples.
you.
Tobacco, alcohol industries, war industry. Okay, I get where they're now saying it's harmful. I okay,
Okay.
so what I'm seeing it as in a point of sex work is harmful is that so you get the men that think that they're entitled, right? Now, in
Yes.
the article, it's referring to the men that are like your army men, that come off from dock and smack a stukkie and they come with their gesypery because they took gesype and now they grab a girl and the girl said yes when they grabbed her, but then they started eating her and then they, like that. I can see it as being
But
harmful in that
that
sense.
does, but that doesn't just happen to women in the sex trade.
No, it happens to everyone. Anyone in the sex
It
trade.
happens to most women,
Yeah.
not just in the sex trade. I mean, you get Japanese men that come from the big ocean, the big fishing trawlers that dock at Cape Town Harbor. And if they can't find prostitutes, they go to a pub in town or at the waterfront
And
and
then
they pick up a woman.
and then they actually approach these women and tell them they'll pay them this amount of money for that. It has
Yeah.
happened.
So
It
that
happens
woman
all
is
the
not
time.
in the sex trade. She's a respectable middle class woman, just out for a drink with her girlfriends or just trying to relax after a shitty day at work. And
And
who's gonna
now,
say no to earning a couple of bucks?
exactly, fuck's sake. Fucking everything,
So does that make her a sex worker automatically now?
according to whoever society that is totally against it, yes. And you
No,
know
that's
what?
bullshit. And that other thing about, oh, sex sells. Yes, sex does sell, but guess what? As much as sex sells, our society is still very closed-minded when it comes to sex. Sex work, for prime example, case in point.
Very much so, especially with to touch on that you was to um every woman that gets raped and things are not just sex workers. And the thing is, people judge sex work too quickly. Oh, the other thing is they degrade sex work because they assume that it is um, dirty, right? So they don't know that there's actually protocols in place. Like there will be condoms, there will be, all of those things are in place. If and this is me speaking on the side of, and I've read a lot of true story books about this, especially in London. London's escort agency is top notch, eh? Like fucking they are
Hi, Letitia. Hi,
seriously.
Warren.
I don't
No,
have.
but that is the thing. That is the thing that frustrates me about the closed mindedness of our society as it stands. Everybody says, oh, sex sells, sex sells. Now when it comes to literally selling the sex,
Then
then
it's a
the
problem.
argument is the complete opposite. Then it's a problem. Oh,
Then people
how did
must be
that myth say? What
shameful.
did that paragraph say? What did that paragraph say? You know what is actually degrading is starving to death.
Yes, that's what the person said. That's why I said I love the person that wrote this
Yes,
article.
thank you very much.
At the end, I will actually credit it. It's on it's a Justice magazine, I think. Do you know where all of the articles that I found today is actually from Australia? A lot of it is written by Australian
And
writers.
isn't the sex trade legalized there?
Not that I'm aware of, but I know it's legalized in we all know Dungas is a green light city in every sense of the word. Uh, but I don't know. I don't think it is because nothing says that it is legalized here by them. There's nothing in the article that says it is
Yeah, you
legalized.
see, it's
But
that, but that's why I say it comes.
I don't think it's frowned
Carry on.
upon. I don't think it's frowned upon though, because I think they fight a bit for it to not to actually be a proper profession, which
And
I'll
that's what, and
definitely
then
be
it
in that
comes back
side.
to that first, yes, and it comes back to that first thing that we said at the beginning of our life. Work is the exchange of services or whatever
For money.
in exchange for money. So how is using your
And not
vagina
just
any
money.
different than using your brain?
And not just money. I mean, like
Thank you very
you
much.
can barter with somebody in exchange for services. I do something, I do hair, you do massage. Come, I do your hair and you give me a massage. You know, like that. That is work.
Thank you.
It's work.
Thank you.
Because now all I do is I can go advertise for you on my platform because I've got so amount of following. So let me go some advertise and I can register my clients in like that.
Yes.
Now It's the
Exactly.
same.
How do the slave queens do it as well?
Oh, did you see the top 10 richest women in South Africa?
Please, let's not go there.
Lord,
Let us not go
yeah.
there, because how does that make them any different to a prostitute that stands on the Wynberg Main Road?
Wel ek ook weet, mos, wel ek ook weet. Because, you know, everything in South Africa is so closed-minded. I can't even understand. I look like this.
I can't deal.
Look, the next myth is actually going back to what you just said now. Criminalizing sex work is the best thing for society. Listen,
No, thank you. I don't agree.
I love this person. The first line. Criminalizing sex work is a trash solution. Shot to you, dude. Female. Let me see.
More power to you, bro.
Let me see who the author is.
Please tell me it was a guy.
I'm flipping hoping it is a guy. Let's go to the beginning. No, female.
Oh, well, then even better.
Mallory Mosner. The other one is activism, but they don't say from who. It's just the institute, the Equality Institute. Yeah, so she said
It's even better that it was written by a woman. It really is a trash solution.
it is a fucking trash solution. What do you
Because
think you're gaining? Exactly.
you're not gaining anything. You're not gaining anything, but on the flip side of that statement, you can also come back to when something is criminalized. Think back to the start of the COVID pandemic in 2019.
2020.
Okay.
Okay, no, 2019.
2020,
No,
yes.
2019 is right.
2019.
Started, yeah,
Yes.
started 2019.
Okay. Think back to the start of the COVID pandemic. How was it for smokers and people that drink alcohol when we couldn't get the stuff? How were we scrambling?
No, bro,
Okay,
I'm
because now
pretty sure.
it was illegal.
I'm
The sales skyrocketed
exactly,
on the black market.
and I'm
Right?
pretty
Because
sure some people.
we weren't allowed to have it.
Nee, I'm pretty sure some people went to go knock someone to get a packet. Like, how else?
They wouldn't have been the first or the last.
Exactly. Like, I'm sorry, so now why are you degrading sex work if I'm pretty sure you did the same thing? So,
But what I'm trying to get
lockdown
to
did a
is
lot of things to a lot of people, okay? So if you are one of those people that are now dismissing sex work, maar jy het gou 'n stukkie gaan vang vir 'n packet of Caesar pop, dan moet jy later praat.
But the point I want to make about that is that
But it's true.
because
Everything
but
was
because
illegal.
we weren't allowed to have it, because we weren't allowed to have it, we wanted it even more than we can get it by a legal means.
Exactly.
So it's the same like a married person looking outside of their marriage because they know they shouldn't be having that person that's other than their spouse. The same principle applies.
Yeah.
So now if you legalize sex work, it's now not.
Okay, before you go there, so this person, the next myth is saying that legalizing sex work is the best thing for society. So the one before, the KZN accent, I love that with people from
Who's KZN accent?
yours probably.
Are they talking about me?
Obviously, because you do have a KZN accent.
Hello, I haven't been from KZN since I was 10 years old.
Well, you never lose the accent, eh? So remember the previous myth was criminalizing it. So the next myth is legalizing it. And in here, she says that this one is a bit trickier, but it's still not the right choice. Legalization does help destigmatize sex work. I don't think it will, to be honest. I honestly don't think it will help stigmatize it. It will actually make it worse. It will actually make it much worse, which is great, but it has some extremely negative consequences as well. The worst effect of legalization is the development of a two-tiered system, where some sex work is legal and other work is illegal. So in South Africa, happy endings are legal, but
Yes,
sex
they are.
worker.
Do you know how many times I've gotten asked for a happy ending?
Oh God, you're just giving a guy a hand job. That's literally it. Get
Yeah,
fucking
but
paid
but you
500
see,
rand for
but
that.
but now you see, but now do you see what being a woman can be
Go
in
through all of
any
that.
sector? I studied to be a professional at my massage.
Mm,
Okay? No, I studied, I qualified, and I have a certificate to prove it.
mm.
Yet almost every male client that wants an appointment with me,
Ask for
the
that.
first
Yes.
question that they ask is, do you do happy endings and how much?
Would you do it though?
Of course I would for an extra whatever.
I probably would too. I probably would
I
too.
would, because the thing is this, if that is all you see me as, that's fine. You can see me as that, but you
As long as
bet
you
your
get
ass
paid.
I'm going to charge you.
Yeah.
I'm going to charge you extra
So so
because that's a value added service.
so let me just continue with this. Some sex work is legal, other work is illegal. This means that an underground for sex work will be assert. Yeah, we all know that. Da, 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 da. Okay,
Mm.
so the thing is, um, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get in the crack for this, but Joby Smith was leading a task force at one point, I think about 10, 12, 13 years ago, that tried to close down all establishments and all brothels
Okay.
or whichever thing you want to call it. And the thing
Mm-hmm.
is, you register when you work in an establishment or in a brothel, or okay, not on the street, which on the street is a bit different because we will touch on that next week. The street,
Yes.
the difference between being in the street and on in a place. Um, you register as a masseuse,
Yes.
right? And then that becomes legal within the establishment.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
let's
so
just
they
say,
exploit the loophole basically.
yes, they exploit the loophole. That's that's what it does. So the rooms, everything will look like a masseuse parlor. Have you watched
Yes.
what's it the perfect and it comes in a series also with Jennifer Love Hewitt fuck, what's that movie? It's gonna bug me now till I find it.
Oh, where her husband left her and she went to go work in that massage place.
It was before her husband left. She worked there.
Yes, but I mean, she was must now because the husband was abusive or whatever and
Uh,
whatnot.
uh,
Marriage was in trouble.
yeah, the finances was in trouble. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. I remember that series. I don't remember the name of it, but
yeah.
I remember it.
I actually want to get to the name of it now. Uh,
And then the
the
husband
client
eventually
list.
divorced her because
The
that's it, yes. And
client
the
list.
husband eventually left her
Yes, and then
because he thought that she was a prostitute.
yeah, and then she also she gave out the list of all the clients at the end.
Yes.
So so there's a movie about it and there's a series about it. So there's both.
Yes.
There's the movie
But
and the
that's
series.
apparently based
True story,
on
yes.
actual,
Yeah, it's based on a
yeah,
true story.
events. It's based on actual events, yes.
Yeah, it is in fact based on true events. And also if the people are looking for a good read, The Memoirs of a Geisha, that's a good one as well. That also explains a lot
Yes.
about that work and things with regarding that. I actually have a couple of books here as well that's quite good in terms of sex work. So what is
Yeah, so now we've got like just over 5 minutes left of our broadcast, girl.
I've got the last myth that I've got on this site is I can be a feminist and be against sex work. I'm gonna read the first two sentences. Sorry, no, you want political economic quality of the sexes. If you believe in systematically reevaluating and restructuring the same inequities as they relate to racism, classism, homophobia, transphobia, xenophobia, and so on. So they say you can be a feminist and against sex work. I think that's a personal opinion.
That is definitely a personal opinion, and that's a moral question that only every individual can answer for themselves. Because yes, you can be a feminist, and yes, you can also be against sex work, but that it doesn't necessarily mean just because you're a feminist that you're automatically just going to accept that sex work is exactly that work.
Yeah, and not just that.
Me personally, I'm from the school of opinion.
Mm,
People can do whatever work suits them, whatever
they
is going to put food on their
on their
table.
table.
They can choose to do whatever the hell they want to do, even if it means sex work. And let me tell you something, I have been this close to sex work myself,
Girl, I think we all have. We all have. We
this
all have.
close to sex work myself.
One of my books will discuss
So,
that in detail, so
yes,
I'm still a bit on the what you call it. What do you call it, on the writer's block? But I'll get there. I'll get there. And the
yes,
thing is, the reason why I say it's a bit complicated to say that no, you're not a feminist, because I mean, I am all for the men something something something. Um, but I'm married to a man and I submit to my husband in not in all ways, but in certain ways,
yes.
because it's not my duty as a woman or as a wife, it's what I feel that I want to do.
And that is the operative word.
Yes, and that's the thing. So because I'm a feminist, I can't be married. I can't submit to my husband. I can't. No, I'm
Yes,
sorry. It doesn't work like that. We have respect in our marriage. So yeah, it's I will, because he would do the same, and vice versa. Because
yes,
that's also something like and now that's where the line is drawn. Is like you can be a feminist, but yes, you can, but there can always be a but. Your but is your personal
yeah.
thing.
Shades of grey, Moss.
Yes, shades of grey. There's before we go, Nins, there's one that I found on another site that I just want to
Yeah.
say. Sex work is an act of gender-based violence by men towards women.
No, hell no. Who said that shit?
This is a myth that comes from the Equality Institute. And these myths are quite different, but I'm just going to go through the sex work is an act of violence. Sex work is when you buy a sex worker. Sex workers give people permission to treat them like objects.
Uh, hell no. I'm still a
Exactly.
human being at the end of the day, and I still require respect.
Exactly.
Just because my method of work it requires the use of my vagina, I'm now not entitled to respect. Hell no.
And that is actually a myth, because that is how they get treated. That's where the degrading part comes in,
No, I'm
and the
sorry, I don't
dignity.
agree with that.
Then there's this one
I
that
don't.
this is a perfect one. Sex work is exploitative and cannot be a real choice. Did we not just say
Okay, I would like somebody to come and tell me, what do you do when you've got no food in your fridge, you've got no petrol in your car,
and
you've
someone
got
offers
no
you
financial options available
500
to you,
rand just
your
to.
support circle, girl, you don't even have 500 rand, you got 5
No,
rand,
I'm saying if somebody
okay?
offers
And
you
there's
500 rand for something.
girl, I'm gonna jump.
I would
When you
say,
backed into a financial corner,
I
I
would,
want somebody to come and tell me you're gonna turn that down.
I honestly, and I've a lot of friends ask me, mustn't they? And I'm like, fucking go for it. If you think you're gonna enjoy it, also remember you're gonna get enjoyment out of it as well, whether you like the person or
Now,
not.
look, for some women, it's not necessarily about the enjoyment. It's what they need to do
It's the
to put
money.
food on their table.
Yeah, it's the money. And
And you know what? In the current socio-economic climate that we find ourselves, nobody can tell me that you can just find work for shits and giggles,
no,
because that is a crock of shit and we know it.
dude, I have okay, like since Rita, obviously I've been applying for work and whatever, because My business is
And
not
that was how
picking
many
up.
months ago? Almost 3 months ago now?
And yeah, and I still haven't gotten anything. Other than I only
I know people who've been unemployed for years
exactly, and then
and
I
still
got told I
cannot find
can't
work.
do
So
something.
please,
So
no,
for
I'm
our
sorry. So,
topic, I'm gonna
mm,
talk for uh the last myth is if we decrease the demand. No man, fuck. Wait, so remind. Okay, I wrote it down, but the World Health Organization provides definitions, which is good definitions, but I'll keep that for our next topic. For next week
yeah,
because we're gonna go into the why and the who's and do's and
we're going to go
don'ts.
into the why, and we're going to dive more into the seedier part of it, like the street workers and what motivates a sex worker to find themselves in that situation.
You know, some do it for pleasure, some do it for putting food on the table. We don't know. We cannot judge, but we are going to divulge in that. If there's anybody that would be open enough to join us that's currently a sex worker, please feel free to contact us via our individual profiles. And
Yes,
also,
please.
yeah, and also please go and like the public page, Ronald Prince. I will continue to work under Ronald Prince, but following is not so groot there. So this is the biggest following I've got so far. So yeah, so next week
Mm.
is we're doing same topic. We're just gonna go into reasons why, and please drop us some comments and think what you. This will also go on this video, this live will go on my YouTube channel, both of them, and then I will convert it into podcast and it will go on MST Community Radio. You can find us on Facebook, and yeah, that is a quiet advertising. Gewone.
Yes, www.mstcommunityradio.co.za.
There we go. So please tune in. We are busy. We are online at the moment. Myself and Lynn also have our
Yes,
own slots. Our
yes.
founder, John Blumedes, has amazing lineups. He got really amazing people that he gets on show. He does the morning drive. So if you want a change of scenery or change of eerie, whatever you want to call it, go onto our site, go onto our page. You'll find everything, and the link will be there as well so that you can listen. I'm going to say out
Awesome,
from
yeah.
mine. Thanks, guys, for alles.
And me, until next week's live, everybody,
Yeah.
thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, baie. Next week at 8 o'clock.
Thank you, Baya.
We'll try and make it
Yes.
quicker, though.
Until then, we must keep it sexy, Ronel.
Hey, let's keep it.
I say, until then, we must keep it sexy.
You know, boss. Although I look like shit right now, but you know. I'll chat to you later, love. I'm going to go bath and
Yes,
get into
okay.
my bed.
Yes,
Okay.
same here.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.